Yo, what's up? This is Mike from B-Type 1. So, was talking to my brother on the other day on our way to work. He and I ride together, and obviously we're all going through this whole COVID pandemic thing. And a lot of people really, we don't know what's going to happen. You have some studies that say that a lot of people have been exposed and are asymptomatic. Others are saying that, like the World Health Organization is saying that, hey, this could come back in the fall or in the winter, like 6 months. The economy is going sideways. Oil is going through the floor. You have whole swaths of industry that are shut down, like the service industry, for example. A lot of my friends don't have jobs right now. They're applying for unemployment, and they're looking at their life and going, what the hell is happening? And the thing Frank and I were talking about is, what does this mean? Because ultimately this is our generation's Great Depression. It has the potential to become that. Hopefully it doesn't, but the reality of the situation is that in the 1920s and 1930s, we were fairly isolated. The United States and all countries were just kind of their own thing. We're not isolated anymore. This is a world thing. In fact, this is a world pandemic. And so there's a lot of things that we just don't know. There's a lot of risk out there. There's a lot of potential for fear. And so he and I were talking, we're like, what can people do? Like right now we're on quarantine. Like, hi, hanging out in my apartment. I go on a lot of walks. It's really fun. Got 10,000, 13,000 steps today. I think 18,000 steps yesterday. Like, I put 20 miles a weekend on my shoes. Why? Got nothing better to do. Some will yell at me for going outside. I appreciate that. Thank you. I stay 6 feet away from everybody, including myself. But the point I'm getting at is that there's not a lot we can do, but what we can do, and this is, I'm going to steal from the Stoics on this one, is that you can't really control the situation that you're in, but you can control your reaction to it. And so in times like this, it's very easy to get stuck in your head about what could happen and the potentiality of all of these things that we're taught that are valuable. Like, we're taught that money is valuable. We're taught that our life is valuable. Not our life, but like the livelihood that we've built, and things like that. And they are valuable to a point, because at some point in time, you being emotionally stable is what's really valuable, because you end up being a beacon for other people. And that's what Frank and I were talking about. And he goes, we're just talking, he's like, yeah, build a beacon. And it was just this stroke of genius moment that it's like, that's it, build a beacon. What does a beacon mean, though? So we all have the potential to be leaders in certain areas of our lives. And sometimes we see that leadership opportunity, we take it, and we grab it, and we run. And we find that we end up being an actualized version of ourselves. We see ourselves in the power that we actually have, that we can bring to life and bring to the people around us. But then there's other times where we're human. We get depressed, we get sluggish, we get beat down, and we end up back at like square zero or -1 or -1,000, depending on how far you fall. And that's fine. That's life. We all go through that. But in those moments when you lead and when you see yourself actualized, what are you really doing? A lot of times you're taking something that's unfocused for a lot of people, and even for yourself, and you're bringing it into laser focus. It's like, bam, right there. And you can visualize it, and you can see it, and you can make it happen. And you do it in a way that is directed, but soft and empathetic. It's this balance. If we look at a lot of different metaphors that humans use to make sense of the world, a lot of them revolve around balance. And so that balance, but that laser focus, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. The laser focus, that's the beacon. And that beacon is like your attitude, just the way you approach the problem in the situation. You could get stressed out and go sideways on yourself and start eating poorly, start medicating yourself with your substance of choice, legal or otherwise. Or you could take that opportunity and capitalize on it. And the thing is that neither one of them are actually right. Like, you can go medicate, knock yourself out. I'm not going to judge you, because I get it. At the same time, I'm also not going to revere you and put you on a pedestal for doing something that's going to move you forward, because So what? You're doing it, you should be doing it for validation, you should be doing it for yourself. But building that beacon is what's going to anchor you and anchor the people around you to allow them to, any fear they have can calm down a little bit. Because in this state of chaos that we're in, where there's a lot of ambiguity, like states are going to start reopening. You know, right now schools are closed, but what happens when schools reopen in the fall? You know, there's a lot that we don't know. And if you have one person who stays a little bit calmer and is able to do something to bring a little bit of tranquility to this uncertain storm, what ends up happening? That spreads. And it's like a reverse virus. So we have this health virus coming at us, this thing that we don't like that could kill us. But we also have this other thing, which is our attitude towards it and the things that we spread and the way we impact others around us. So we could cause lots of chaos by being ungrounded and by being emotionally reactive to everything, or we could bring calmness to everything by being grounded and directed. And so a lot of times it's very difficult for us to move things forward and put drive behind it if we do something for ourselves. Like, but you ever notice that when you do things for other people, they just seem to mean a little bit more? And there seems to be a little bit more oomph behind it, a little more intention, and you're a little more focused. That little thing, because that little thing is empathy, and it's empathy in action. And empathy in action plus building a beacon and bringing that groundedness to the situation is what allows us to get through this thing and allows us to stay together as a we, a global we that are all going through the same thing. Every country across the world is having some version of this. Okay? If they've had COVID, then they're in it just with us. If they've decided to shut down their country, they're in it. If their economy is going sideways, Italy, like they're in it. Like there's huge things, they're in it. And if we can all exercise deep empathy and build a beacon, something simple, something that people can latch onto. Like I was out walking today, walked by a church, and it was a Methodist church, and it said, we're praying, but we're listening to scientists. And I thought that was hilarious because there's always the dichotomy between religion and science, when really they're the same thing, spoken in different ways. They're our methodology or our way of understanding the world. And that's a little beacon. Another one I saw, also a church, was, we're doing services online now. Tune in, here's when we're on. Yoga studio I go to, they're doing their stuff online. These are little things that, the reason why people occupy every continent on the world, and they were the only species to do so, is because we're adaptable. That's how we made it this far. And so we're able to adapt. Why? By thinking forward, by being positive, by being grounded. So build a beacon. What beacon can you build? This is my little beacon. It's going to be 9 minutes of me rambling. Hopefully it means something. Hopefully it clicks. And if it doesn't, that's awesome. I'm doing it because it's a Sunday and this has been bothering me and I've wanted to talk about it for the whole weekend. So I was like, fine, we're going to make a YouTube video. So, video. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Check you later. Peace.